Disruption. Anybody who reads anything related to business has heard the term disruption in terms of technology. We've all probably seen the conference. I want to go to the Disrupt New York conference, or the Disrupt San Francisco, or the Disrupt Minneapolis conference. Disruption. It's one of the most common terms in business these days, and one of the most misused. The concept of disruption has been around for a long time, but I think it was first put down onto paper by Clayton Christensen in around 1997. He published a book called The Innovator's Dilemma, in which he addressed the concept of disruption. So what is it, and what is it not? What is a disruptive innovation? It's an innovation, new idea, new thought, new something, that creates a new market. There's one of the key pieces, is it has to be a new market. By applying a different set of values, which ultimately and unexpectedly overtakes an existing market. The classic example that Clayton Christensen shows in his book has to do with hard drives. All of us have had hard drives in our computers, and we've watched this process take place probably, about 8 times since computers first came out. The first disks were probably about yay big. They were 14, They were big. They didn't have a lot of capacity, but they were a lot faster. Then people came out with 8-inch disks. They got a little bit smaller. The first 8-inch disks were crappy. They were slow, had less capacity, but they were first used in a new market of the mini computer. And this got repeated again with the 5-inch disks that came with PCs, and again with a 3.5-inch and 2-inch and 1-inch, and it's still happening again with what's called the SSD. Typically, when a product comes into existence, it starts out slowly growing, gains momentum, gets better, providing more value, more power, more profit, and then it levels out towards the end of its life. A new disruptive technology comes along and starts replacing it. It starts out probably providing poor performance, poor cost, less bang for the buck, and it grows. It's replaced by yet another, and yet another. The pace of disruption is increasing. Why? And this comes from a book, one of the other books that I've been reading. It's called Digital Disruption by James McGivey. Is talking about how there are more innovators, more people who want to do it, not only want to do innovation, but can. The cost to enter the market is decreasing. Think of it. He gives the example of almost a grade school, maybe middle school kid who gets a Mac, builds an app, and is selling apps on the Apple App Store. The cost to enter the market is going up. Building disk drives took lots and lots of money. Building apps costs a lot less. And the speed of it, the speed and frequency that disruptive technologies arrive are increasing every day. This is sort of one of the pictures that he gives in the book. Is under the old disruption, you had a few people who could do the disruption. Now we have people all over the world who are able and willing to disrupt. It used to cost tons and tons of money, 1/10 the cost. And these are just numbers he just sort of pulled out of the air, and he said they're probably wrong. He's probably underestimating the number of innovators, and overestimating the decrease in cost, or overestimating the new barriers. But he comes up with a formula: 10 times in value. The innovators, for 1/10 the cost, is 100 times the power of disruption. If you are in an industry such as ours, you're doing software development, real estate's changing. It used to be this book. You went and you got a paper book. Now we've got one of our members introducing apps that go on Facebook. The market's changing. Disruption is coming. It's coming to a business near you. It's going to come and affect your lives. If you're running a business, you really need to step on the innovation wagon and get busy innovating and developing those disruptive innovations yourself, or your business is going to be eaten alive. So if you want to stay stodgy and not adapt to the new market models, it's time to be afraid, and to be very afraid. But if you want to be innovative, the opportunity is there. Be a disruptor. Thank you.